Hi, thank you for being with me here today. I'd like to introduce a friend and student client, Lynne Newman. Thanks for being here today, Lynne.
Thanks, Sandra.
We're going to talk a little bit about our time together and your experience working with me. And before we do that, can you share a little bit about yourself, what you do?
Sure. So I'm Lynne. I'm someone who loves movement and spirituality and growth and transformation. And my professional background is that I worked as an occupational therapist for over 15 years. I work with families, and I'm a mom of two kids, and I have a dog, and yeah, I live in Canada. But I love the growth and transformation, personal development fields. Yeah.
And so can you share with people a little bit about what your work is like with families in the area of growth and development so people can hear?
Well, it's when I became a mom. I mean, I was already in the field of occupational therapy, so it's helping people develop the skills and find meaning through adversity and function in their day-to-day lives. So with kids and specifically I work with women and moms with that transition to motherhood. And life is full on when you're a parent, and it can be hard. And so often the people that I work with are just more sensitive, and they're navigating some adversity. So whether that's childhood trauma, sort of completing their own childhoods, like reparenting themselves, right, as they're parenting their children, or looking at sensitivity, sensory overwhelm, and really finding strategies and tools to be resourced in coping with your day-to-day life. I love working with parents to just really, it's like, just so that you can be calm and grounded and ride those waves, right? And really feel like you are providing, so you're confident that you're providing the skills and space for your child to grow and be resilient themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. So important, isn't it, to have tools that you can tap into and bring in when you need to, especially through the everyday. We don't realize the stresses that contribute to piling things up inside in our bodies. And then that affects how we respond or react in all the given situations in our day to day, right? Yeah, that's huge. Good. Great.
And I first came across Qigong when I was going through my own fertility journey. So about 15 years ago. And Qigong was one of those things, that a tool, right? That I could use to move the energy through my body. And so it's been fun to come back to it right now, which is what we're going to talk about.
If you could maybe touch on what was your challenge at the time, or what was like beforehand, before we did our sessions together.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm coming out of a 10-year sort of intense phase, chapter and season in my life. So I've done a lot of things, and still it's like, emotional, mental, spiritual. And I feel like the body part for me is the one area that now I'm building up again and moving through that layer of moving through the stress and trauma, and if you will, through the body. And so it was a couple months ago, I had a kidney stone, and I'm a healthy person. I had never had a kidney stone, and just passed this kidney stone that was so painful. I needed, pain management at the hospital a couple of times. It was intense. And when I looked up the meaning of a kidney stone, and it's how I felt as well, it was all about ancient sadness and despair and wanting to give up. And that's kind of how I felt. And I felt like it was a layer of some of my postpartum days from 10 years ago coming back up to be, now that my life is sort of calm and settled. We had a lot of family health stuff going on. And so after the 10 years, now it's like coming up, another layer to be healed. And so that's when it was perfectly timed. But I was like, okay, now with this Qigong looking at moving the stress and the trauma through the cells and the body and the lymph, all the things. I thought this was exactly what I needed to help me, because I had been doing all the other things, I sleep well, and I consulted with the naturopath, and nutrition and my environment, and having someone to talk to. I have all of that, but the qigong was the sort of one thing that was perfect to add. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for sharing that, because one of the things I love about traditional Chinese medicine and the Tai Chi and Qigong approach is that we attend to the energetic body, the stuck emotional energy that can be clogging up our pathways, our energy meridians, so that we don't have flow, balance, and harmony. And when we have bouts in life, or things that we want to heal from, or things that we want to resolve, we think of the physical. Am I eating? Am I sleeping? There's high blood pressure. How do I get it down? Or we think of exercise, going for walks, going to the gym. Or if it's stress in the mental, emotional health area, we might find a therapist or a counselor and maybe do different practices to bring calm and peace for the mental and the emotional part of our existence. But something that doesn't come into awareness for a lot of people is paying attention to that energy body. And so that's why this work is so great. The wonderful thing about it is we don't have to go into story.
Yeah.
Did you find that we had to, in our work together, have to go into any of the reasons why we feel things, or any of the reasons why our signs and symptoms exist in our body?
No. Yeah, it's just acknowledging and noticing the emotion, and perhaps maybe where, but also it's just, then it was really, you were so, obviously you're skilled at what you do. You're a master of, again, pinpointing, okay, so I have a sound for this, or a form for that we can move through. And so I had a lot of resistance come up once we started. I was doing it, and then at some point was feeling so much resistance to actually completing my daily qigong. And that's a pattern of mine too. And when we had our one-on-one, it was really helpful. We did one of the exercises that really helped move that energy, and I could feel it. And then you also worked, and I do this too with clients, that it's like the metaphor, or work, you had asked me to, what did it feel like? What did the resistance feel like? And I had said it was like black tar. And then we did the movement, moving the energy, and then it turned into, it was like flowing blood. And so that was pretty powerful, to work with that imagery and move that energy.
I remember that experience. That was fantastic for you. Was there anything in particular about our work together that you found helpful?
I feel like just having that container, and to be able to touch base, and really on a sort of regular basis, to be checking in and seeing, okay, how's it going? Being able to tweak it. And it really kept me sort of keep it top of mind, to prioritize it. I appreciated, just the feedback, and then the videos, right? So I could go back and refer, and then do the videos, the qigong with you. Right? Yeah, I think that the whole thing was wonderful. Just the container itself was powerful, to be able to really kickstart a practice, and to move through some big stuff, right? To be seen and witnessed and feel safe. I think safety is really important. And there's absolutely no ounce of judgment whatsoever, right, from you, which is really important. Yeah, and hearing some of your story too, I find so valuable.
Thank you for that. And so tell us, what has happened for you? Any changes since we've done our sessions together?
Mm-hmm. Well, I totally have. I feel like the despair has shifted, and I'm actually more in flow. And I, didn't expect this at all, but I had 3 new clients. I sold 3 packages, which, I get clients in bursts, here and there, but it had been a long time. So yeah, that was unexpected, although it makes sense to me that, focusing and prioritizing energy and flow and moving through that was really powerful. So it's definitely motivating to see. And then, yeah, just feeling more, yeah, it's just like the stuck energy has shifted and moved. So I'm just going to keep it up. It's really important.
Yeah, great. It's
Yeah.
so exciting, isn't it? I remember when you shared that with me, and just opening to flow, because when we open to flow in our body and we come into better balance and harmony, that exhibits in all aspects of our life. So the way we communicate with people, the way we are in different situations, and it just opens us up to so much more.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. And right. And that's fantastic, because for me, doing work that I love is so meaningful. And so it's just, it's all connected, interconnected, and it's a beautiful flow.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
I hear you. And if anyone was interested in working with me, what would you tell them, Lynn?
I mean, just don't hesitate, like, do it. Like, it's a very important practice, especially if, yeah, where you're at in your journey. If you've come across Sandra and Qigong, like, then there's a reason, right? And it's very safe. It's very simple. It's not too complicated. It's just a matter of really building it in. I would say reach out and and try it, and just give it a taste and see what that does, and stay open. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there would be any regrets.
Thank you for saying so, Lynn.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining me today to share about your experience with our sessions. And it's wonderful it was really beautiful to watch your transformation through our time together. Keep breathing, keep moving, keep open to that flow.
Yes. Thank you so much.